Jesus said something very interesting right at the very end of his life in John chapter 14, verses 16 through 18. Notice what it says. I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth. Jesus had referred to himself as truth in the same chapter, verse 6. So even the Spirit of truth will come, whom the world cannot receive. Well, why not? Because it sees him not, neither knoweth him. But you know him, for he dwells with you. Okay, the truth is dwelling with you, and the Spirit of truth will come. For he dwells with you and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. So what's being said here is that the Father's going to send another comforter. But at the same time, Jesus is saying, I will be with you. Well, why is it so difficult for us to believe that Christ can be in heaven and on earth at the same time? Let me read you something from an incredible book that if you have never read before, you've got to. It's called The Desire of Ages. On page 166.2, it says this. While Jesus ministers in the sanctuary above, he is still by his Spirit the minister of the church on earth. He is withdrawn from the eye of sense, but his parting promise is fulfilled. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Matthew 28, verse 20. While he delegates his power to inferior ministers, his energizing presence is still with his church. So would it be easier for me to be in two places at one time when I'm really right here? Yet I'm over here. So is it easier for me to do difficult things than it is for God? I've written a couple of thoughts here. What if I'm here, but you can't see me? What if I'm actually here, but I'm not really here, according to the eye of sense? You can't see me, but I'm here. In fact, I'm at my house in my own personal studio. But when I'm here with you now, it's not now for me as it is now for me now. Because I'm recording this, and then I'll put it up online, and through the invisible medium of the internet, somehow, some way, even wireless internet, you're going to be able to see this as though it's now. Why would that be easier for me than it would be for God? You see, I believe that Christ is in heaven right now, and through his Spirit, through his invisible presence, he is with us right now. As it says in Signs of the Times, taken from 1897, just 1 year before that book, The Desire of Ages, was published, notice what it says. It was difficult, even for the disciples, to understand the words of Christ, that Christ should manifest himself to them and yet be invisible to the world was a mystery to them. They could not understand the words of Christ in a spiritual sense. They were thinking of the outward, visible manifestation. They could not take in the fact that they could have the presence of Christ with them and yet he be unseen by the world. They had yet to learn that the inward spiritual life, all fragrant with the obedience of love, would give them the spiritual power they needed. I believe Christ is with us right now. I believe the personal presence of his Spirit can be mine right now as I'm here, even though I cannot see him. And this helps understand better what Paul meant when he says, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And the life that I now live, I live by the faith of him that loved me and gave himself for me. I also understand better how it says in Colossians chapter 1 that it's Christ in you, the hope of glory. The Spirit of Christ, the personal presence of Christ, is here with us now. I believe it, and I hope you do too.